Good afternoon, friends. We will need to keep this discussion very short. So my request to all the panelists, I know all of you have a lot of knowledge to share, but perhaps we can keep it down to as short as possible. Uh, Friends, if you talk about uh, any tectonic change, any paradigm shift, you need to have the CEOs, the leaders, driving this entire change. And that's why I think we are extremely lucky that we have a panelists of all leading, let's say, CEOs, leaders, experts in the field, who will talk to us about the shift of the Indian industry from being a price-led industry to a sustainability-led industry. And let's therefore, without much ado, let me ask a very general question to all of y'all, and anybody can answer, all of y'all can answer, that it is obvious that India needs to reposition itself. We cannot anymore depend on our price competitiveness to succeed in the world trade. So is sustainability the answer instead of price? And if it is so, where do we stand today, and where do we see ourselves 5 years from now? Any one of you can answer.
This is a very interesting question, Shubir. See, India is in an economic trajectory where countries learn to waste. We never learned how to waste because we used to use, as other panelists were talking about, we used to use our elders' clothes, right? Whereas the Western world dumps it in the West field. Now, we are growing in economic parameters, so I think we have enough money to waste. You have to stop learning from the West and continue what is to do. Now, not in the same way, but in a different way. I represent a denim mill. Denim fabric is a heavyweight fabric, and it is more versatile to enable usage of short fiber. For any fiber you generate, it's easier to use. It's difficult for a fine shirt to embed recovered fiber or vegetable fiber or things like that. So I think now on the cost side, what you said, sustainability always has a cost. So whether we cost it today or we endanger our future is in our hand. I think the cost is for the organization to bear, not the consumer to bear. That's what I think.
Can I add that to it? I think India is a very value-conscious market, and I think it's not a value market. So if you are able to add value to a product, and I think also for factories that are here or for manufacturers, if we are creating more value, whether it's through sustainability, which is a very large agenda, which I see, at least in the European parts of the brands, obviously we'll be head start to many others, but I think the journey has to begin. And we can't keep waiting that this will become a price thing and then only sustainability become a large agenda. Sustainability is already the agenda. In a lot of boardrooms, sustainability is the biggest agenda today, which I am seeing globally. I'm working with many of the global brands to discuss about India, and the first thing they're talking about is how sustainable can you be, even when you're starting in India. So I think the good part is we have the ecosystem, we have the entrepreneurs, we have founders who are trying to innovate. The only thing is how fast can we make it mainstream? And how fast can the unit economics work out? Because end of the day, the customer is not ready to pay. That's the irony of the issue. That's everyone wants sustainable. If you today speak to a Gen Z or anyone, they'll say we want more sustainable brands. But when it comes to price, they don't want to pay for it. So you'll have to find innovations and efficiencies within the organization, within the factories and the mills to build a price model that is working for it. And I think we are at the forefront of it. We also have global goals for sustainability, which our Prime Minister has already announced. So I think there will be a lot more innovations that will help us bridge the gap. And we can become the sustainable destination for a lot of global brands to come to India for manufacturing.
Great. Any thoughts?
Okay, thank you, Rahul Mehtaji. See, I think since I've been part of textiles family and now looking after Khadi, something happened yesterday which shows me that we are on the right path. I got an inquiry from one of the biggest denim segment for Khadi. I guess I will leave it at that. That if people become sensitive about using what is produced sustainably, because for me sustainability in iteration means better resource efficiency as water level, at energy level, inclusive, less chemicals, four main planks. And since I've come to Khadi and I see the process, and if a big brand wants to co-opt it, so that reaffirms that sustainability is at the center. Sustainability is not just a board, although it is a boardroom concept and it's a seminar concept, I do believe this whole seminar should also be a zero carbon event. This is becoming very, very relevant across all PSUs. They have to justify it. So I guess when quality imbibes sustainability, then cost competitiveness will come because we have definitive scales to take care of the value thing which he said.
Just to add, I think if we take that cost is always factual. When we say cost, how much is the cost to make that garment? No one knows. So why? One denim takes 6,000 to 9,000 liters of water. If we calculate, someone was telling me that here we can't get even water easily. So if 8,000 liter water is wasted in making one jeans, how it will be survive and sustain? So I think it is very much significant and important if we want to be part of that global value chain and domestic consumption, which both are growing. If we have to sustain that, sustainability need to be core of it. And when I talk about cost, most of the discussion people say consumer willingness to pay premium as a sustainable product is negligible in India. But I have different perspective. If 8,000 liter water, if we calculate that cost, then it's not expensive. India, if we talk about today, we are very much fourth largest economy in the globe. And today, fourth largest economy, we are 18% of the world population, but our GDP contribution to globe is 2.8. And if we talk about when India was textile hub, 1,000 year back, 1,500 year back, we were global population was 3% and our GDP contribution was 22%. That is the opportunity which lie ahead of us. It's only that 1 or 2 decade where we have to fast forward, keeping away from that mindset. A lot of sourcing colleague of mine, they say, it will add cost if we use recycling. It will add cost if we use less water. I say it's one-time cost, but if you look long term, you are getting ready for future. So I think I have that both. One side it is adding the cost, but same time it is creating awareness what sustainability means for individual as a consumer, what it means for industry. We all, whether big, medium or MSME, it matter for everyone. And third, India as a country, I think it matter most because if we will be that third largest economy after US and China, textile is going to be one of the main contributor because it gives maximum employment after agriculture in the textile sector. So I think it's very imperative and significant moment we should participate and do it larger and scalable way.
Thank you. Manmohan ji?
I can talk about man-made cellulose fiber. If you see there are two major verticals in sustainability. One is the recycle, another is the traceability. When we talk about recycle, it can be mechanically recycled, it can also be chemically recycled. Mechanically recycling, if you see, it's a 100-year-old technology. You can see in woolen segment, it is there in Panipat, it is there in Amritsar. Slowly, the cotton has started in 10, 20 years. PET bottle has started in polyester. If you see in man-made cellulose fiber, we have put up our own facility where we collect the waste. We add the green fibers, lyocell, and we make it spun-able. And on the chemical recycling, we are the first company in the world where we started taking alternate feedstock. Alternate feedstock can be the denim waste. Alternate feedstock can be any cotton waste, where we are regenerating the cotton into the fresh viscose. You cannot make out either by the physical property or by the chemical property that it is different than the virgin fiber. But it is recycled. When you talk about the cost increment, if the fiber is 10% costlier than the virgin fiber, it only impact 0.3% of the garment cost. Because the raw material cost, the fiber cost, overall garment retail is less than 3%. When you scale up, these costs will definitely be taken care of. As the scale is small, so you have the incremental cost in a garment scale is 0.03%, which is, I don't think Indian consumer, when you say that this is a recycled product which has these saving, be it carbon footprints, be it water saving, be it traceability with blockchain, I believe not only global consumer, but Indian consumer will be ready to pay a penny extra.
Thank you. Actually, it's ironical that we started this panel about sustainability with the one manufacturer who, at least till now, and I'm not talking about your organization, but your product category, was one of the worst offenders in terms of pollution and water wastage and so on. But obviously, things have moved on from there, and you have taken a lot of steps to make denim not so damaging as it used to be earlier. So what are these steps that you have taken, and where do you see yourself going forward? Is denim still going to be, because I can tell you one thing, when you start talking about denim being the worst polluter, I unfortunately wear only denims, and I'm therefore contributing to the pollution of the world. But if you are taking these steps, what are these steps that is making denim less polluting than earlier?
Yeah, I'm also same equally offender for wearing only denim. It's a lovely pair of jeans, always. Now, what Dr. Tyagi shared is right. It used to use about 8,000 liters in the whole life cycle. Can we make it zero? I don't think we can think about, I don't know how to do that, but what we are trying to do every year, every quarter, is how do we reduce from 8,000 to 7,000 to 6,000. So the steps we are taking is, one, we are reducing usage of virgin fiber, be it virgin cotton, be it virgin polyester. So as of yesterday, as of last year, our non-virgin fiber usage was about 9%. As a mill, we are committed to bring it to 20% by 2030. That's one. We use water. Whatever water we use, other than evaporation loss, every water is pulled back into system. We don't throw any water. Now, we try to use, when you are pulling back, there's a chemical process of recovering fresh water. You're trying to reduce the process cycle. Can we make products which requires less processing? So we are starting with how do we size it so that the product don't require mercerization. So we are monitoring how much products are less processed year after year. In last 2 years, we could reduce the process cycle of about 18% products. We have developed a dyeing process in-house, which we call Mantra Blue, where in the dyeing system, we use 90% less water. So water is used in dyeing for washing more than putting the dye on it. So we're not washing the thread after dyeing. So we are taking all possible ways, and we have been actually trying to talk to Dr. Tyagi, can we make every fabric carbon footprint measured? As an individual mill, it's difficult. That's in my mind. We will do that at some point of time. So a buyer would know which fabric is more sustainable vis-a-vis the other one. When brands go to market, they talk about, we find a tag of BCI, organic, region agree, and things like that. I think for the consumer to know and believe, I think we should give the impact value. Whether this has X carbon footprint, Y water saving, if we quantify, it becomes easier and the consumers will appreciate it more.
So, Tyagiji, both Subir and Vinit mentioned the consumer. Vinit said that, if you add value, the consumer is willing to pay for it. You are saying that the consumer could be aware. If he is aware or if she is aware, then she will be willing to pay more. What's the level of consumer awareness of sustainability, and how does one increase this knowledge of or awareness of the consumer?
Very interesting question. I think we being the largest retail company in India, we know that it is very important. And will give that a few example how consumer, because sustainability, circularity, and climate, these are big, someone say buzzword, more buzzword in Europe or Western world, while action word, it need to be in India. So when we talk about action, we need to simplify these words in the language of what consumer understand. For example, if we take garment as an industry, garment, almost 10 to 15% is the fabric wastage. When you use marker and all these things, lot of garment fabric waste, chindi, what we call. We always consider chindi, to chindi hai, hamare use ka nahi hai. If we talk about that 15% material lost as a chindi, and if it can come back to our system, we created that product in our Peter England brand just for consumer awareness. It's called For Earth. And we say our 15% fabric waste, which is in a garment factory, we will give it to that fabric maker or fiber maker. We transfer that fiber to build a cellulose. They made it pulp and they recycle it. Almost 75-25% ratio what we kept. So our own chindi waste, which was going to Kabariwala and unattended, has gone back to that fiber making. It came back to us, same garment factory. I think that is that simple way of circularity and closed loop. And we say to our consumer, this is that our own waste is being converted or redesigned as a material back to system. That is one example. Other example, consumer doesn't know what is a sustainable product or packaging. To pack one single shirt of 280 gram to 300 gram, 165 to 170 gram of packaging material is used. Even 22 item is used from U-clip to this tag to metal clip to this clip, 22 item. And you know that consumer is not require all these things. They throw it in dustbin. Same paper, plastic, metal, everything they throw in dustbin. We say if consumer is not requiring these, we as a brand are not even leveraging on why it is required for consumer, how to eliminate it. So that 22 item, we today reduced to 7-8 item. One garment used to have 5 tag. I mean, why 5 tag is required for one garment? You need to explain this is one garment, good garment. Today, one garment, one tag is that motto which we have. Then 8 item has now 62 gram of weight. So with that, we reduce ecology, lot of carbon footprint, material loss, but same time, it saves a lot of money. Because 22 item has become 8 item, it is product cost is also come now. So my way of explaining sustainability is not to add cost. It is minimize or eliminate unwanted cost or material which is lost in the system. So if that's 180 gram is now 62 gram, we are saving that. Ecology, we are saving that for material and cost as well. So I think many examples like that, small step, take back program we have. We say that bring back your old cloth and we will repurpose, recycle wherever it possible. We tie up with that Gunj, which is one of the social NGO. And they have given that garment to the people who doesn't have garment to use. Even you will be surprised, one of our brand, they created a campaign, say that bring your old jacket and we will give it to people in Delhi who are staying under the bridge. No garment, no jacket there. So kind of, I think, awareness which you need to create, that maybe that consumer has not used that jacket for last 5 years. It's lying idle. Someone else is using. So I think consumer awareness is something. In India, I think it needs to be done by everyone. Customer, B2B or B2C, everyone need to be on same page. That's why I think it needs to be accelerating. We need to simplify it. It's too complex. Someone say that net zero. Which consumer understand net zero? Zero was invented by Indian, and today we learned that net zero from Western world. I say zero का मतलब क्या है? नुकसान खत्म करो, environment का, society का, business का. नुकसान खत्म करो और उसको पॉजिटिव की तरफ लेके जाओ. I can proudly say today, all our factory are true zero waste. Globally, we are the first garment factory to have LEED true zero waste certification with platinum. We are the only company which is for last 5 years water positive in our operation. We are in that global Dow Jones Sustainability Index. In apparel retail, #1 company from nowhere. So I think if we do systematic improvement, it takes time. You need to bring all stakeholders. And I'm happy that at least we are cascading it within our supply chain or value chain, whether it is supplier or consumer or customer. It's happening. It's still a long way to go. That's why we all need to come together and collaborate and make it happen.
Thank you. I think the Aditya Birla Group really deserves a clap for all the fantastic work that you all are doing. Just one very minor question or query. You are definitely saving the environment. In the process, are you destroying the institution of Kabadiwalas? Can you do something also for them?
I think that, again, this is myth. We are not destroying Kabadiwala. I'm talking about systemizing it. Today, Kabadiwala doesn't get the respect and value they deserve to get. So we are getting them into ecosystem, because when we talk about ecosystem, it's all stakeholder. Government is one of that. Consumer, customer, brand, recycler, technology innovators, even community as a large. Everyone need to be part of. So Kabadiwala is very much part of ecosystem. We are trying to get them as an institute or as a systematic enabler. It's not avoiding them. It's getting them up.
It was more on a lighter tone, but I'm glad that you all are doing something for them also.
They also need technology, na? That
Exactly.
If they are getting, let's say, 10 rupees, they should get 12 rupees for it.
Absolutely.
The cellulose will pay higher to them to get that raw material for them.
Perfect.
Asker denim will get that higher price for getting raw material.
Perfect.
It's securing the material also.
Sure. Ruprashi ma'am, you are now heading the whole Khadi movement in the country. Somehow, Khadi has always been looked upon with a sense of romance. It is the Gandhian way of product, and it's the Desi product and so on. But don't you think it's now time for Khadi to be perceived as a modern product which meets the newer demands of the industry and globe? And how do you propose to do that, ma'am? Because I think you are in the driver's seat. How do you propose to reposition khadi as the most sustainable, one of the most sustainable products of the industry?
Rahulji, thank you for the first question. Yes, there is a lot of romance because it's the oldest technology done by hand. Thread is done by hand, hand spun. So by default, when I started talking that it's most resource efficient in that sense, it is deep. We need a lot of hank in distributed segment wherein a lot of women are involved. So it's inclusive. It uses much less water. Energy, yes. So how do we bring the new gen factor, new gen aspiration for khadi, not only looking back at what it did for us in 20th century. What we look forward is bringing in at one level, increasing our capacity for different fibers and hanks and do it in a very, very disaggregated way, distributed way, and develop aggregation capacity at the raw material level, whether it is cotton, silk, or wool. And other side, most important is creating a demand pull. And all of you would be glad to know we have been part of a lot of, something which inspires the design. I have the previous moderator who was sitting here and said that design is the most important element to pull the new generation into khadi. And now that's what we are working on. We have Center of Excellence Khadi, and we launched something called Navyu Khadi in November. We are launching the new product lines on that Navyu Khadi, the Khadi institutions. Now, how Khadi works, I'll just take 2 minutes. It's not, like I have all the production agents, all the back end, like an FMCG company, all the controls. So we work through about 3,000 odd Khadi institutions all over India. And the turnover is 8,000 crore for all those 3,000 Khadi institutions, where we provide end-to-end support from sliver to final marketing also. To increase new market, there are a lot of initiatives are there, starting with design, starting being part of Lakme Fashion Week also, which actually showed that 5 major designers showcase their products here in the heart of fashion capital of India. And we are seeing that kind of awareness in terms of the product as well as process for khadi. I would just like to go slightly wider in because I am part of khadi and I am part of MSME in the ministry. And yesterday had interesting discussion in ministry with our new incoming secretary also. And somebody mentioned that when we want to adopt new technology, government should support. Government is supporting. We have very good schemes. I would urge all the associations, MSME as a whole, of which 30% is also textile. So textiles is not just part of textile ministry. Textile also comes as a major contributor to MSME production. We do have a lot of schemes. Water, we have a lot of technologies available domestically, internationally, and there are schemes of support to them. I had taken myself about 3 years back, I think, Secretary Technology Development Board, and a huge R&D program of Government of India is on to get all the big players. I think somebody from Shahi was there, wherein all manufacturers are being incentivized to increase their R&D capacity. So please, whenever it comes to the cost part, I would just say we have a lot of schemes. Maybe we need to demystify that to all of you across the board. Khadi coming back, I would just say it's not just the romance. It's going to be one of the major driver. Why I see it, I keep getting demand from the biggest of the markets. Even if one vertical of theirs, they want to keep it on khadi, whether it is khadi cotton and even denim, they want khadi. So we just have to create that enthusiasm back in our institutions as well as the new entrants to get into hand-spun, hand-woven. It will never be, it should never be, it can never be getting into a volume game. But it has to be on the quality game, and I'm sure it will lead the way forward.
Fantastic. I think what you have said, ma'am, is I don't think the romance is going to die. I think the romance is repositioning itself in Khadi for the younger generation.
It's Navyu Khadi and we had
Navyu
the challenges. We had the collection which was Navdhara Khadi. So the idea is just to bring that magic. You know, we need to demystify the whole thing. When Gandhiji did for us was create production by masses to defeat the colonial masters. But now production by masses will enable huge number of communities across India. It's very wide, very deep. We just have to have some kind of technology interface and a market positioning to keep it as part of a varied basket. It need not be, don't look at it when you say a romance. Don't look at it philanthropically only. This is going to be the crown in the corporate sector. I would actually have on the right side and left side Aditya Birla Group people, and I like seeing how Bhujodi is being promoted even as one vertical, even if it starts as a CSR thing, but it is being promoted a lot, which is a very specific Kala cotton thing from Gujarat. Yeah. So everybody knows Virasat has its own value and we can leverage it for growth.
So from the old world and traditional product of Khadi, if I can move to you, Manmohanji, the recycled...
Don't call it fiber. Old world, okay?
I'm the youngest one.
And you wear Khadi.
Khadi denim, I think, Subir, that's something that we need to work on. Manmohanji, what about this chemical recycling? What is it exactly, and how can it be scaled up? Is it possible to scale it up, and how can it be scaled up?
Let me first add on something which Madam was saying. So we are moving from a black and white era to the current century of Khadi. The black and white era we have seen in 47 and till 70s. And then this era, Khadi will have more of color, more of variety, more of design elements. This is also Khadi. Yeah, this again a Khadi. When it comes to chemical recycling, it definitely is scalable. It's scalable. One route is you collect the garment waste from the cutting tables. That's the one way of doing. Second is you can use the used garment or unsold garment. We have done a couple of collections. For example, Zara, they send us around 10,000 garments which were not sold, which were slow moving. We converted into viscose and new garment was sold. We done with Monkey, we done with Peter England. It delivers exactly the same properties of generic viscose. Now we have moved from viscose to lyocell. So now we have started creating lyocell made out of 30% cotton waste, 70% fresh pulp. The challenge as of now is when you collect the garment which is not tagged, it's difficult to filter out how much polyester it contains. If the polyester content is more than 1 to 3%, it sometimes have difficulty to the filtration process. Multiple labs in India as well as abroad, they have found a technology where you can put up a garment in a solution. Polyester will become a slurry and the cellulose will become a powder. If that technology is scalable, tomorrow 100% viscose can be made out of recycled tree-free viscose. There will be no tree involved in the viscose making process. Okay. So it is scalable, I believe, within 3 to 5 years of time, if the technology cracks, where you can take out from a blended garment, you can take out polyester separately and a cellulose fiber separately, it can be done easily.
So I think you're doing a terrific job because not only you're saying it's scalable, but you're also doing some form of waste management in the industry. So kudos to you.
On the first booth, yeah. You will see a co-development done by Birla and Bhaskar on denim, on a mechanical recycling route.
Great. I would encourage everyone to
take that. The technology which is new, any innovation is being supported by Government of India through different levels. So why I take it as my duty when I'm talking to associations and this kind of gathering is that let us look at, everybody says there is some cost involved here. Let us look at what are the systems which are being created to support this cost. age long, there is something called Technology Development Board, which supports with 50% of the capacity of any innovation, with just as simple as, if I remember, I may be a little dated, as 5% simple interest. So I'm just saying that we have a lot of youngsters here, study all this and try to use it for the benefit of, through startups, through, around, we have huge numbers in MSME, wherein we can bring in these technologies and at a cost which is palatable to the full responsible manufacturing chain cycle.
Vineet, you have been an expert on branding and introducing brands, which you're now again going to do in your next avatar. Is it possible in India to launch a brand based on sustainability?
So I think I wanted to come when Naresh ji was also talking. I think the educating consumer is our own responsibility. We've educated consumers over fast fashion and glamorized it so much. I think if the industry or the brands or the organizations come together, and I think why can't we educate consumers on what is sustainability? And I think that will have to be part of the brand building exercise by itself. And I'll tell you, in my previous organization, one of our brand was 85% sustainable, right? And they were a global brand, retailing in many parts of the world without any price changes. So I think the other is, how do you inform customers what sustainability is in this garment? So like a passport, maybe digital passport, because you don't want to put more tags and everything. But QR code today allows so much, and the youngsters really fascinate about reading, learning, and I think that's where it's possible. Will a brand come from India? 100% it will come from India. I don't think it will start from outside, it will start from here. Will it happen very soon? I doubt that. It could happen, but it will be small. But there is an opportunity here.
There is an opportunity.
And I think I am very fascinated towards, I've been part of SU.RE from the day one of the journey. I think there's a lot to do. And I think, I will say, romanticism, I think we need to glamorize. I think glamour sells more than romanticism. And I think that's what the industry has not done. And I think we rather put investment there than trying to do so many other investments that we're trying, that we glamorize this. And unless you don't glamorize something, the youth doesn't follow it or anyone doesn't follow it. So I think
You've spoken like a true brand person. If I can end this conversation on a slightly lighter note, Vineet, again asking you this question. When you decided to stop shaving, was it your love for fashion, or were you lazy, or did you have some passion for water conservation?
I think
Use more water towards that.
I think not for fashion and not for this. I think I started doing this 12, 15 years, actually 12, 13 years back. It was not a trend that time. I think it's become a trend now. But I think it's purely about how fashionable you want to look and how different you want to look. And I think now it's become part of the identity. Longer, shorter, all that stages I've seen.
Absolutely.
So I leave it there only.
Okay, in cricket what happens is that when the opening batsmen get out quickly, the latter batsmen are supposed to take more time and stick on to the pitch. In our case, it's slightly the reverse. The earlier panels have taken so much time that our panel timing has been cut short. So thank you very much. I think that few key takeaways that I can gather. Number one, sustainability is not just here to stay, it's going to be the future of the industry. And number two, it is possible for even MSMEs to capture some form of sustainability and the processes. Even traditionally polluting products like denims can become more sustainable. And not only do we need to make sustainability with a little bit of romance, but if it is to succeed, two things you need to do. One, we need to improve the consumer awareness, and second, we need to glamorize it more. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Naveen Sainani, Chairman of CMAI, to please come on stage and felicitate our speakers. Dr. Naresh Tyagi, Madam Roop Rashi, Mr. Manmohan Singh, Mr. Subir Mukherjee, Mr. Vineet Gautam, Mr. Rahul Mehta, Thank you everyone again. We now move to the panel 3, Sustainable